Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Monday. Taking a live look at the high country right now. It is a beautiful Monday to be out and about, but there is some changes coming, including some cooler weather with possibly some rain. Thank you for joining us at noon. I'm Brianna Fernandez. I am joined right now with Chris Bianchi. Chris, you were just telling me that there is some changes, a little bit of changes in the eastern plains. It could be potential severe storm later.
Yeah, and what you're looking at here in downtown Denver, kind of hard to believe that we're talking about a threat for severe storms later on today, considering how nice it looks outside right now for us in the metro area. But that sunshine is actually part of the reason why we're fairly concerned about that threat for severe weather, especially east of Denver later on today. That sunshine means there's more instability, and that means that we're going to probably develop some stronger showers and storms later on today. Now, what you're looking at here on this map, that dark green, that represents a level 1 risk on a 0 to 5 scale in terms of that risk for severe weather. Yellow, level 2, that includes Fort Morgan. And then orange in level 3, that includes places like Sterling on east to about Ray. That's where you have the highest risk for severe storms later on this afternoon. And all modes of severe weather, tornadoes, big hail, and damaging winds all in play later on this afternoon. And that risk, as I mentioned, it will increase as you head north and east. By the way, this afternoon and even early tonight, not a good idea to be on I-76. So storms develop between about 1 and 4 p.m. They're going to develop just to the east of Denver, most likely. Chance they develop right in town, most likely just to the east of the city. And as these move east, very strong storms likely for us east of Denver, and then we'll keep some of those storms around into the early evening and maybe even some of the later evening time frame. And then in the mountains, we get some snow for tomorrow. So severe storms, eastern plains today. Tomorrow, we get some snow in the mountains. Right now, mostly quiet on HD Doppler radar, but that threat for severe weather, hail and wind are main concerns. There is a tornado threat for us, and this is, again, for the northeastern corner of the state. For tonight, we drop back in the mid-40s for us. Showers late tomorrow. Low 60s with some showers and storms around. 7-day forecast. We dry things out and warm things up as we head over the next few days. I'm going to get into some more detail about what we can expect not only in terms of that risk for severe storms this afternoon, but also a stormy day ahead for tomorrow for the Denver area. All that coming up in my full forecast.
Chris, thank you so much. In just the last 90 minutes, Denver Mayor Mike Johnson announced a plan aimed at keeping kids safe this summer. The plan has 3 parts. First, a youth work program partnering with local employers looking to hire this summer with a $1 million grant to help students earn extra money.
What this will allow us to do is to have young people hired onto summer jobs this summer. This entitles every young person who is hired onto a summer job and completes more than 100 hours of work this summer to receive a $1,000 stipend from the city in recognition of their work.
This plan also includes a website with all summer activities for kids in one spot, from swimming to art, making it easier for families to stay busy over the summer. And a third, a grant program targeting communities at risk for violence this summer.
We are focusing specifically on communities where we know there have been risks in the past of community violence. And so we have been leading an effort around Safe Denver. That's led us to host community meetings around the city, particularly in those communities that have elevated levels of violence, to talk about the things that those communities need. DPS has been a partner with us there in those conversations, and what we've heard more and more is that community members want to have activations and positive opportunities in their neighborhoods.
There is a virtual job fair for kids looking for a job this Friday, and then June 1st, an in-person job fair. The job fairs are designed with the students in mind. The city wants to get 1,000 students to work this summer. Employers looking for part-time help are asked to sign up, and we'll have more details on next with Kyle Clark at 6 tonight. Now, in the last 15 minutes, we learned that there are 2 victims in a shooting that happened overnight. The investigation continues into a shooting that happened near Spear Boulevard and Blake Street. Denver police tell us that they don't have any suspect information to share at this point. We hope to learn more later this afternoon. As fans were leaving Ball Arena last night after the game, a driver hit someone on a scooter. So this happened right at the intersection of 9th and Aurora Parkway. Our crews actually saw it all happen. They say that there was a loud crash, then people started running and screaming. The driver tried to drive off, but people started chasing the car and eventually stopped it. Police arrested the driver, and the person on the scooter was taken to the hospital. DPD says that person was seriously hurt. Crews at the Aurora campus were cleaning up the Tivoli Quad after pro-Palestinian protesters packed up and left. Sky 9 flew over the Tivoli Quad this morning. They've been removing tents and other things protesters left behind. Officials are still limiting who can get into the building on campus right now. Tivoli Quad will be closed until the cleanup is finished, and the encampment started on April 25th. Protesters organizers say that they're going to shift to other places throughout the campus instead. Right now, parents in the Poudre School District are pushing back on a plan to consolidate schools. Last week, the school board presented their potential plans to close 5 schools just a few days after publishing those plans online. Parents had until yesterday to give feedback. Some of them say that they were surprised to even see their schools on the list.
Suddenly, our school was listed in all 4 scenarios with no warning to our staff or community.
This is like my home. It's the place I've always been here for since I was 5, so it's very important to me.
The district tells us that this process isn't complete yet, but the list of schools that could close came from a volunteer committee of dozens of parents and staff. The school board is expected to vote on their plan on June 11th. Tomorrow, parents from one of the schools on the closure list, Johnson Elementary, plan to have a bike party, and they want to talk about the closures, how they could impact traffic flow if fewer kids can walk or bike to school. Now, Red Lobster has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy after failing to return to pre-pandemic sales levels. The company is continuing the process to shrink its footprint while searching for a buyer. The seafood chain said it does have a bid in-house from an existing lender, but it is looking for better offers. Right now, Red Lobster operates 551 locations in the U.S. and 27 in Canada, and those will remain open for now. Now, it did close 93 underperforming stores this month. Those include 4 stores right here in the Denver metro area. The company reported a loss of $76 million last year, partly due to a disastrous endless shrimp promotion that benefited the sole shrimp provider and a partial owner of the company while damaging the restaurant's bottom line. The bankruptcy petition lists its assets as worth between $1 billion to $10 billion. The Colorado River is a big character in the West. In a dry year, people worry, and that's becoming a more and more common. A local artist has chosen to take on a subject for a news show. So Nicole Fraze is one of the artists featured in a news show about how people have affected the health of the Colorado River. She took a road trip to spots along the river, choosing to portray different areas along the route, and her show will also include sketches and poetry from these spots. She said it's a big subject and an important one, and her hope in creating these works makes people think about water use.
And I think focusing on, painting these subjectively beautiful depictions of the river is just one way to just get people to look closer. I want to remind people what's at stake. I think that's the core of all of my work, and I use beauty as a way to do that.
The show, called Tracking Time, opens Thursday, May 23rd at the Boulder Museum of Contemporary Art. We have our photojournalist, Ann Herbst, who will have more about this project in tonight's Storyteller segment at 9 and at 10.